happy Monday. I'm Jenny and this is your first BBC Newsround of the week. Don't go anywhere because we've got all this to come. Can reading out loud make you feel calm? Meet the tiny new addition to a UK zoo. And we find out what happened when this baby hippo took its first dip. But first today, we're starting with a big meeting about climate change called COP30. World leaders, including UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, are gathering in Brazil for the event, which starts today. It happens every year in a different country, with politicians and environmental campaigners coming together to try to tackle environmental issues the planet is facing. Now, we've got a full guide on our website where we look into what the challenges are for the leaders and whether they will come to an agreement. And while you're on the Newsround website, you will also be able to read all about remembrance events happening this week. Yesterday was Remembrance Sunday, where people gathered across the UK to remember those who have fought and died in wars all around the world. King Charles was joined by the Prince of Wales and political leaders at a big ceremony at the Cenotaph in London. The official Remembrance Day falls on the 11th of November every year, and so a 2-minute silence will be held tomorrow. Next, have you ever wondered what your brain does when you read out a story? Well, scientists claim reading aloud can actually make our brains sync up and help us feel calm and connected with others. Ricky's got this one.
Brains in the air.
What's going on inside our heads when we read aloud? Scientists here hope the answer will open a new chapter on how the simple act of sharing a story can bring our brains and our relationships closer.
Researchers here have found that reading together can help to strengthen bonds and even reduce stress.
And let's meet our family of readers who are taking part in today's experiment. Mum and daughter Dakota and Tony will be wearing a brain monitoring cap.
How does it feel, Dakota?
It feels good.
Yeah.
The cap tracks brain activity in real time, showing how moments of shared reading can sync brain patterns between two people.
What we can see is that during shared reading, the two brains become synchronized, so they start to kind of beat according to the same rhythms. And there's something about this experience of sitting, reading books together that helps us to become very closely connected in parent-child relationships.
Another beautiful day.
As the brain data comes in, researchers can see those shared worlds taking shape, moments where a story brings two minds into sync.
So there's something magical about the idea that when we're in the same state as someone else, when we're sharing the same rhythms as someone else, it helps us to feel connected with them, and it also helps us to feel relaxed.
Joining the study is Children's Laureate Frank Cottrell Boyce.
The person who invented fire, probably the next thing she did was tell a story about it. Stories are how we explain the world to each other. They're the software for your brain. When you grow up, you are going to make decisions based on the stories that you've read. You're going to make decisions based on The Ugly Duckling, which tells you this might turn out to be all right. And the more stories you've got, the better you think.
What?
It's early days, but studies like this could help us understand why reading together builds empathy, focus and emotional well-being, and how it might support children's development and a lifelong love of reading.
Love a good story. Thanks for that one, Ricky. Now to the Philippines in Southeast Asia next, where millions of people have had to leave their homes due to a powerful typhoon which struck the country yesterday. It's caused flooding in the area and winds hit speeds of over 140 miles per hour. Many schools had to cancel lessons or move them online. Next, some news about the BBC. The top boss at the organisation, Tim Davie, has resigned, meaning he's leaving his job. The head of BBC News has also resigned. It follows newspaper reports criticising the BBC for the way it handled news stories, including how it edited or put together a speech made by Donald Trump. President Trump welcomed the news that people at the BBC are leaving, saying they are very dishonest people. The BBC bosses said that mistakes have been made, but said that arguments that the BBC is biased as an organisation were wrong. All of this is being seen as big news because the BBC is paid for by the public, and many people, including politicians, have a view on the way it is run. Okay, it's time to talk Strictly now. Here is your usual spoiler alert though. If you haven't caught up, it's time to look away. Switch your eyes and ears off for a minute. In the dance-off this week was Lavoie and Aliash and Harry and Karen. Now, it was the Gladiators star Nitro who became the 6th celebrity to be eliminated from this series.
It's a celebration. It's a celebration. I spoke to my daughter and she didn't like seeing her dad sad. And she wanted to, when she saw me sad last week, she was like, Daddy, like, what's wrong? And this is where it's to show everyone that, look, no matter what happens, there's always a silver lining. But this is an experience for me, so thank you for this lovely gift. And at the end of the day, we carry on. We give it to them, and we continue to shine. Do you know what I mean?
Got it for Harry. Next, though, it's time for some smiles. Let's get this week's happy news.
First up this week, check out this hippo calf going for a splash. Mum and baby took a dip in their lagoon at the Hippopotamus House at Berlin Zoo in Germany. Hippos can't swim, but they can walk or run along the bottom of the pool or riverbed. This was extra special as it was the first time Mum and baby have been seen in the big tank together in public. Super cute. Next, it may be approaching winter in the UK, but in South Africa, spring has sprung, and with it, these colourful jacaranda trees. These subtropical trees are originally from Brazil in South America, but were introduced to South Africa in the 1800s. The purple flowers bloom for about 2 to 3 weeks before the leaves come out, adding a touch of colour to some South African cities. According to some residents, the trees represent a time of growth. Oh, so pretty! Finally, let's check out these carnivals in Somerset over the weekend. Thousands of people turned out to take in the spectacles, and there were some pretty impressive floats, all themed differently with loads of lights and dancers. I love this guy, who is a one-man mobile light show. And who doesn't want to see dancing chickens?
Lovely stuff. Well, if baby hippos isn't enough for you, worry not. We've got more cuteness. A zoo in Devon has welcomed a teeny tiny leopard cub. There's only thought to be around 120 Amur leopards left in the wild, so it is a very special arrival. Well, that's all from me. We've run out of time, but I'm back tomorrow morning, 7:40. See you from then. Bye.